I have helped this clothing brand make $25,000+ in just a 2-week time frame. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys my exact mindset and thought process, and also exposing my entire strategy on how I scaled this brand. So you can literally just copy us, take notes, and apply it to your own brand and hopefully get similar results. So without further ado, let's just hop straight into this case study. You can see June 21st to July 4th. That is exactly 2 weeks. I have brought in this brand $25,000, almost 25K sessions, 181 orders, and it has a 0.71% conversion rate. Now, one thing I would like to note real quick is I would like to see this conversion rate at above a 1% or more, but because this clothing brand has a higher AOV and higher price point, it makes it harder for the average consumer to buy from this brand. So again, I would like to see this conversion rate at above 1%, but 0.71, that's doable for now, especially because we are very profitable still. Even in the past 30 days, me and this clothing brand have been absolutely ripping, almost $50,000 in the past 30 days. So I'm going to be showing you guys the exact thought process and the exact strategy. Let's hop into a Miro board right here. But the first thing I want to talk about is the products. This clothing brand has a lot of products, which makes it easier for the average consumer to just pick something out that they like. See, the problem with a lot of clothing brands is they have only one or two products on their website. While there's nothing inherently wrong with this, it just makes it harder to increase your AOV and have high value orders from different types of customers. It's because when you only have a couple products, you're very limited in the amount of customers you can have. But when you have a huge selection, you can have many customers who grab one thing and also pick up another thing through an upsell, because there's so many products on the website. So again, this brand has a lot of products, and the more products you have, the easier it is to upsell and the more audiences that are willing to buy something from the website. And again, most products on this brand are above $100. And that is extremely important to note because a lot of clothing brands, for some reason, have like a 20, 30, 40% profit margin, which is just absolutely not sustainable, especially when you're spending a lot of money on ads. This clothing brand has like a 3x, 4x, 5x markup on most of their clothes because everything is above $100 to buy. And that is not including like shipping or taxes or anything like that. And the larger profit margins you have, the less stress you're going to have with your ads. And if we look at the website right here, you can see that like everything is above $100. Everything, is cost some money to buy. There's only a handful of items that are under $100, like these tees right here, maybe these shorts and this tee right here. Even this tee right here is like $95. And I guarantee you this tee doesn't cost anywhere near like $15 to make. It's just about knowing your audience and knowing what they're willing to buy and also marketing to them in the right way. Everything's almost above $100 on this website, which makes it very, very good to run ads. And they also have a huge selection. If we hop into any of their products right here, you can see they're consistently having good product pictures, and they're also consistently trying to upsell to their potential customers. You can see here, frequently bought together, and then you may also like, which is also super duper important to, upselling your products and getting more AOV out of your customers. And even right here, they have a shipping protection, which is pretty cool. Their website is very, very nice and professional. You can break your payments down into 4 interest-free installments. So that also helps with getting conversions from your customers. And they also have an urgency thing right here that says this size is almost gone. So these small things right here really help in driving conversions, driving people to buy these high ticket clothing products. And yeah, that's how this clothing brand is able to, sustainably push their products that are priced higher than normal with these ads. And the next thing I want to talk about is the content. This brand knows exactly who they're targeting. There's literally almost zero confusion on who they make clothes for. This makes it extremely, extremely, extremely easy for the ads to target the right type of person. All of their content is catered to their ideal customer profile, the models, the music, the aesthetics of the brand. Everything is catered to this exact customer identity slash profile, and they know exactly who they're targeting. This brand makes heavy use of influencers, UGC, behind the scenes content, and professional photo shoot locations. And this brand also promotes for weeks before they drop. This brand grinded for weeks on TikTok, Instagram Reels, driving all of these thousands and tens of thousands of views to their SMS list. And that's what got them to a really huge drop day because they're consistently posting every single day. Listen, guys, there's no secret to growing your email or SMS list. You literally have to just post every day and continuously improve your content. Now, this is what I mean when I say this brand knows exactly who they're targeting. You can see this brand is catering mostly towards female who are 18 to 35 and are interested in like Atlanta streetwear. You can see almost all of their models are female and most of their models are black. So they know exactly who they're targeting. They're targeting a black female who's 18 to 35 years old, who is interested in Atlanta, streetwear, being fly, all that type of stuff. And you can see it directly in their marketing. There's no confusion on who they're marketing towards. All their pictures, this is like the only male model I've seen on their brand page. But you can see all of their models are female. They utilize UGC content, behind the scenes content. They have photo shoots. Everything is nicely professionally done. And that really helps in scaling the brand because, again, they know exactly who they're targeting. And that is super, super important when running a clothing brand. If you have confusion on who you make clothes for, if you have confusion on who you're targeting, especially when it comes to ads, you're not really going to perform the best because the ads are just bouncing from, identity to identity, not knowing who your clothes are resonating with. But you can see exactly who they want their clothes to resonate with. And I think it's blatantly obvious. And I think any brand should have this, that their ideal customer type all over their profile. But another thing I want to discuss is meta ads. Meta ads are the bread and butter to the scaling of this clothing brand. 19,000 out of that $25,000 was generated by me through meta ads. Now, the winner products were on pre-order, and this allowed for a lot of scalability. When you have your products on pre-order, you don't have to worry about your inventory. The only thing you have to worry about is your manufacturing being done on time and shipping in a timely manner. When you have an infinite amount of inventory, this allows for the ads to scale that product really, really well, especially if it's a winning product. Now, my first priority when running meta ads was making a cold campaign filled with content that proved itself organically. I think that's the best way to run ads. When you have a bunch of content that did well on TikTok or Instagram, you can just put that as an ad because if it did good for free, now imagine how good it's going to do with money behind it. That's why I think it's the best way to test organically through Reels or TikToks because you can literally just test for free. You don't have to put any money behind it. Maybe the money for the photo shoot or maybe the money for the model, but you don't have to put crazy money boosting it or whatever to see that it's a good video. And after I made this campaign that proved itself organically, and I had my winners, I made a retargeting campaign with an enticing offer to recapture added cards, checkouts, profile visits, all that type of stuff. And you can see right here, I spent $4,800 to bring back $19,000. So you can see out of this $25,000, 19,000 of those dollars was generated by me through meta ads by only spending $4,800. That is a 4x return, which is very, very nice when it comes to meta ads. But let's take a look into the meta ad account itself so you guys can see my thought process and kind of what I did to scale this brand. So here's the meta ad account. You can see June 21st to July 4th, I spent 4.8K to bring back $19,000. And that was mainly through these two campaigns. I have my cold sales campaign and then I have a retargeting campaign. I'm not going to break down my exact settings or the exact creatives I use because one, I don't feel like that's my responsibility because I don't own this brand to be showing that type of information. And two, this would make the video extremely, extremely long if I broke down, everything I did in this sales campaign, everything I did in the retargeting campaign. But I'm just showing you guys I did run a cold sales campaign and then I ran a retargeting campaign. But let's take a look at the ads themselves over here. Let me move this to the side right here. But you can see if we organize it by amount spent, you can see that some of these ads are absolutely cooking. This ad right here has a 6x return. This ad right here spent $769 to bring back almost $3,000. And I know it says learning limited. I'm sure you guys can see that, but learning limited only means the ad got under 50 purchases. That doesn't mean that like the ad is bad or like the ad is no longer going to bring in any money. It just means it got under, 50 purchases and it's not out of the learning phase. It doesn't really affect how much return on ad spend you can get. So don't be worried if you ever see this on your ads. That is just something, you can take note of. But you can see I was absolutely cooking with this campaign. I brought back $19,000 and you can just see the money is coming in. Obviously, not every ad in here was a winner. You can see some of them spent $17, brought back zero, $21, zero, $23, zero, 26, zero, 26 again, zero, 30, zero. Like you can see not everything I did was a winner in this campaign, and that's why I turned them off. But you can see when I did find my winners, I absolutely capitalized off it and started spending crazy money on them, $1,000 into $6,000. That is a crazy return. And we brought back $19,000 in total. You can also even see here, I have a ton of ads in the drafts. That's because I plan on doing even more in this ad account. I plan on scaling even further. but that's something for the future. And as long as the return on ad spend maintains, I'm going to plan on scaling this brand even further to bring back even more money daily. You can even see in this campaign for this brand, I'm testing a lot of different ad sets. I'm testing a lot of different angles. I'm not going to show my angles that I tested because one, that's for me personally, but I'm just showing you guys that I tested a lot of different angles for this brand. There's a lot of different ad sets that are off, a lot of different ad sets that are on. But you can see here, I have like a handful of ad sets on, and these are the ad sets that are absolutely printing for this brand. I have some ad sets that just, didn't work out. Like this ad set right here, it spent $49 and it got $0 back. So I turned it off and I focused on a different angle. But you can see right here, these ad sets are absolutely cooking, and this brand is making a lot of money, from the ads. Even in the past 30 days, this brand has been absolutely cooking $27,000 in the past 30 days for this clothing brand at a 3.6x return, which is absolutely nice. Me and this brand are absolutely ripping right now. We're probably going to hit 30 to 40K by the end of this month. But let's go back to the Miro board. And this is pretty much how I scaled the brand. I consistently increased the ad spend if above break even ROAS. I consistently tested new ads every week at minimum. I created new offers to retarget with, and I created retargeting ads and retargeted our warm audience so I can get these people that added to cart, visited the website, maybe interacted with the clothing brand page or Instagram, whatever. I retargeted them so I can finally get them to buy and, fully commit to the brand. And then I just doubled down on what I knew I was working. If something is working for your clothing brand, double down on it and put more money behind it. That is the easiest way to scale. You don't have to do anything crazy to scale. If something is working, just double down and tweak it to the best of your liking. For example, if you have a creative type that's winning, it is in your best interest to, double down on that creative and make more of that creative so you can make an even better creative that's better than your winner and scale even further, if that makes sense. I know it was a little bit of back and forth right there. But real quick, a lot of people ask me, how can I scale my own clothing brand? And if you've already done over 1K in sales and feel like you're just guessing when it comes to, making good, scalable clothing brand content, paid meta ads, or just scaling your clothing brand in general, I made a free training video just for you. I break down the exact systems I use to scale clothing brands to 5 or 6 plus figures, including my own clothing brand. I'm helping 10 clothing brand owners do the exact same step by step. All you have to do is click the first link in the description and watch the free training. And yeah, I hope you guys learned something. Consider subscribing for more absolute banger clothing brand knowledge. Join the free Discord down below. It's suitable for 1,000 plus brand owners, and comment the word beach if you made it this far. Hopefully I taught you guys something. Hopefully I enlightened you on what you could do better for your own clothing brand. But yeah, comment the word beach if you made it this far. I'm going to catch you guys in the next case study or video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Peace.